What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hold the Phone podcast. I'm your host, Alex, joined today by my co-host, Ryan. What is going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I am counting down the days. We are 6 days away from kickoff. Well, 6 days away from Sunday.
I was about to say, we're 3 days away from football. So, that's, dude, I feel like it's been the longest offseason of all time.
Yeah, this could now be coming at a better time.
Especially with no preseason, like, it's crazy. I'm going to fix this light. But, yeah, with no preseason, I feel like we're just desperate for football, and I feel like the first couple weeks are going to be super sloppy. But
yeah,
at this point, we'll just take whatever. So a ton has actually happened since the last time we recorded with, like, extensions, and then we have a couple signings. But I think if you want to jump into the extensions, we can go ahead and break those down real quick.
Yeah, so some of the more recent ones to happen in the last 24 hours, the first one that comes to my mind is Jerdavius White, the cornerback of the Buffalo Bills. He got a 4-year, I believe, $74 million deal, 74, something like that. He's getting about $17.5 million a year, making him the highest paid safety, I believe. It's a very team-friendly and player-friendly deal. I like it because it ties Jerdavius White to Buffalo for 6 more years because he's got 2 years remaining on his rookie deal.
Nice.
And then he's got the 4 years added onto the extension. It's so refreshing to have, quality players that you want to re-sign for years to come, and a competent front office that is going to get those guys extensions. Like, it's just so refreshing because, like, we haven't had that in such a long time. But I thought this was a great deal, and honestly, like, it's kind of under what I was expecting to have to pay for him. I was expecting like close to 20 per year.
Thought he would have been $100 million.
Yeah,
for sure. So I mean, I'm trying to find the exact number. I think you were right, actually. Well, I can't seem to find it, so I'm gonna guess that you were right. But
take my word for it.
Like you said, I love that deal. Go ahead and lock him up, and he's still really young, isn't he? Isn't he
I think he's like 25, 26.
Yeah. So I mean, to go ahead. Oh, it's Jerdavius White. It was 4 years, $70 million extension with $55 million of it guaranteed. Yeah. So the total value of it is $82 million, which honestly, I agree with you because now you have him for 6 years. That's relatively cheap. And obviously he might want to extend it once you get to like that 5th or 6th year. But for the next 4 years to have him for that, it's definitely good to have him locked down before you have to pay a quarterback, i.e. Josh Allen. So
sure.
Some of the other ones that were given out, let's see. Well, I guess we can go with the next biggest one would have been Deshaun Watson, which how much was that? $111 million, I think, guaranteed.
Not quite Mahomes money.
No, not at all. I think it was – I'm trying to find the exact number. It was – why can't I find it? What day did he sign?
I think it was like yesterday. Or maybe it might have been Saturday.
Deshaun Watson signs biggest deal with New York with the Houston Texans. It was how many years? 4 years, $156 million with $74 million of it guaranteed. But I guess that doesn't start for what? Another – he was same draft class as Mahomes, so another 2 years.
No, it's – yeah. No,
right? Yeah. So they have a little bit of time to try and build that team around him because, I mean, we're going to go through our divisions a little bit later on in this, and I have them as a really bad team, and they desperately need some help. So, I don't know. I mean, it's good for him, but like you said, it's no Mahomes money, and I don't think anybody's even going to come close to it.
Lamar, when his time is up in a year or two. But I think Lamar will still be way off. But
I think Lamar will be more around like 200 to 300, not 500 million.
Yeah, Lamar's going to be in the nice bridge between Deshaun and Patrick.
I agree. Or Dak. If Dak is MVP this season, then he'll garner some attention. But who else signed? We had Keenan Allen signed. What was Keenan's deal?
I think that was another 4-year deal.
It was 4 year, $40 million, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, while you look that up, I mean, it's great that, Keenan is actually on the older side, so I was kind of surprised they gave him that many years. But, with his route running ability, like, you want to keep him on the team as long as possible.
Whoa, his contract was way bigger than I thought it was.
What was it?
4 years, $80 million with $50 million guaranteed. That's a lot of guaranteed money for a 31-year-old wide receiver.
That's about Jerdavius White money. That's crazy.
He is how old? He's like 32 or 30. He's only 28. Okay.
What?
He's the same age as DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams.
I would have put my entire life savings on the fact that he was above 30 years old.
Bro, and his birthday is April. So
he just turned 28.
Not just, but yeah, like he's 28 for this whole season basically.
Well, no, that's what I meant. It's like it's not like he's going to turn 28 like the first week of October. Like, like it's
shout out, he's from Greensboro, home place. Dude, he's the same age as Melvin Gordon, DeAndre Hopkins, and Devontae Adams.
When did he get drafted? Was he in that 2014 class with like Sammy Watkins?
Hang on, I'm looking it up.
There's no way.
Draft class.
Keenan Allen, I'm sorry. I thought you were like
the 2013 draft.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah.
Sheesh, that's crazy.
That's insane.
But, I mean, he absolutely – I don't know if he deserves all of that money, but, like, he deserves to get paid because, like, he's so underrated. I think he's flown, like, totally under the radar in a lot of people's opinions because, I mean, I think he's, like, a top 3 route runner in this league.
Oh, I agree. Plus, to get him locked down on that team is so young so that when Herbert does take over, he's going to have Keenan for, like, the next 4 years at least, which is a huge safety blanket to have just such an elite wide receiver as long as he can stay healthy. What is the other contract? Was it Casey Hayward? Yeah. Cam Hayward. I didn't even see that he signed. Was that today?
No, that was last night.
What did he get? I'm looking it up. I really should have done more research on this. Signed a 6-year, $59 million contract.
I didn't know it was that big.
Wait,
the money's not big, but the years, that's pretty.
So it's 6 years because he had 1 year left on his deal, but it was a 5-year, $59 million contract with $15 million of it guaranteed. And he, I believe, is not young. Unless
I really like that for the Steelers. That's for his production. That's pretty cheap, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, for a D end, that is pretty cheap. $50 million when what? Clowney wanted 15 a year.
Yeah.
So he's only 31. So, I mean, it's not terrible. But, yeah, I like that. You solidify that interior of that defense for the next 4 to 5 years.
Defensive linemen can play until they're like 35, 36. I mean, unless you're like Cameron Wade, who can play when he's 40.
Hayward, because I'm pretty sure he started as a defensive tackle and went to the outside. And so even if he gets older, you can always move him back inside.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up the extensions, right?
No, DeAndre Hopkins just got an extension. I didn't get to see the amount or the years, but all I saw was the Adam Schefter notification that was like they gave him just compensation for because I mean his deal was kind of out of date.
Let's see. DeAndre Hopkins closing in on a contract. This is 18 minutes ago, so this is I don't even know.
This is fresh off the press.
Yeah, this report just says DeAndre Hopkins and Arizona Cardinals are closing in on a contract extension.
Tom Tillis is
what is happening? Okay, thank you. That was terrifying. Yeah, this just says that he's closing in on a contract extension. We have no news on numbers yet. So
it's coming.
All right. Guess it's happening. So D-Hop's going to be a Cardinal for a little bit, which is great for Kyler. I mean, you lock in that number 1 wide receiver. And, I mean, it's in my opinion, he's arguably – it's him and Julio for the best athletic wide receiver in the league. I know people would say Mike Thomas, but I have him and Julio. So, I mean, that's huge for them, especially because I don't think they have a lot of people on their roster that they have to pay soon.
Mm-mm.
Maybe Chandler Jones, but that's about it.
Yeah, maybe Patrick Peterson. I don't know when the last time he got an extension was.
That's true. I feel like it was a couple of years ago, though.
I still can't believe that the Texans did not get a first-round pick for him in return.
They got a fourth, wasn't it?
No, it was a second David Johnson, but like, oh my god.
Garbage. So I guess we can wrap up our little bit of news. We also have Clowney has decided that he wants. First of all, wild story for Clowney. Have you heard this? All of this that he
with like the Saints and the Browns.
Yeah, and then he also fired his agent like the day before he signed with the Titans, and so now he's supposed to sign a 1-year deal with the Titans that's upwards of that's not even $15 million. He can make up to $15 million with incentives. Sounds to me like he's making a big mistake. I would have signed one of the safer options that was given to me. Like the Browns offered him a 3-year deal, which was, I believe it was $18 million a year, and he turned that down. But he's betting on himself again with the Titans. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. It was so crazy because I just remember like watching the news roll in, and it just felt like the Saints were like reeling him in. You know, like it just sounded like they were more and more confident because it's like, oh, the Saints are like reworking contracts of their like highest paid players so they can make room, and the Titans just kind of came out of nowhere. The Titans were always like that team in the back of your mind.
Yeah, they were just sitting there like maybe.
Yeah. And then Vrabel came out and said, like, you know, we have an offer in. So, like
– and apparently it was good enough, I guess. Or maybe he just realized he was running out of time and had to make a decision. But if my options are the Saints, who, are, in my opinion, are going to contend for the Super Bowl, and the Titans, who also, in my opinion, I don't think are even making the playoffs, I think I would choose the Saints. But, hey, man, he wanted to go play for Mike Vrabel. And then
from what I heard, it sounded like the Saints were like $2 million short of what the Titans were. So it was like $13 million, which is like all that work to come up like
that's what
$2 to $3 million short. Like it's crazy.
They could have found that money somewhere if they desperately wanted him, I guess. But
he and Cam Jordan would have been crazy.
Exactly. On that. And then last little bit of news: Adrian Peterson signed a $1.1 million deal with the Detroit Lions, adding to their backfield, already crowded backfield, honestly. And according to reports from Patricia, he's supposed to get work week 1. Like they think that he's going to get carries. So he's not just coming there to be a veteran to carry on in Swift.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you shouldn't own any Lions running backs in fantasy football, period.
Yeah, I agree with that until one comes out and proves himself, which hopefully will be Swift, but it doesn't look like it.
So, I'm a big carry-on guy. I feel like everyone hates on carry-on.
No, he's just so injury-prone.
Dude, he got injured like once.
He got injured at Miami, then he got injured his first year in the league, then he got injured last year. He's been injured 3 years in a row.
That's fair.
All right, you want to jump into our division predictions? I feel like this is going to be the biggest chunk of the show.
Yeah, man. Where do you want to start?
I'll let you pick. You want to do AFC or NFC first? By the way, are we doing records and then like each team's record?
I don't know. How do you want to do it?
I feel like we can run through each team's record pretty quickly.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Good with that?
NFC North, you want to start there?
Sure. NFC North. Well, I guess let's start. Who do you have winning the division?
I'm not going to branch out far. I think it's going to be the Packers again because that linebacking core is just ridiculous with Preston and Zadarius Smith, and they just added Christian Kirksey in the middle. So I really like that. Jair Alexander's a stud. And, I mean, they didn't really, lose anybody other than, Blake Martinez that I can think of that was, notable. Oh, and Brian Bulaga on the offensive line. But, other than that, they only added. And no one else in the division got, that much better. So I'm taking the Green Bay Packers.
I feel like
who do you have winning the division?
There's going to be a lot of hot takes from me, I feel like, when we're going through these divisions because I do not have Green Bay winning the division. When it comes to Green Bay, I think that they have regressed a lot on offense. I don't think that they have any other wide receiver other than Devontae Adams, really. And I also saw a stat earlier today that they were 9-1 in one-score football games last year. That doesn't happen 2 years in a row. I think Aaron Rodgers is pissed off. I don't think he wants to be there. And I have them going 9-7 and coming in second place in that division.
I don't hate that. But who's first?
The Detroit Lions.
I love that.
I think Detroit goes 10-6 and wins the division.
See, we're just flipped because I was going to have Detroit second.
Because I think Detroit has done nothing but improve on – I mean, I understand that the running back room is crowded, but those are 3 pretty damn good running backs. It's just like for fantasy, it's crowded, but in real life, that could easily work. If Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, I think he's going to put up incredible numbers, like 4,000, almost 5,000 yards. And then that defense, man, if they – other than their linebackers, I feel like they have a decent enough secondary and a pretty good front four. But I also think that this team actually really likes Matt Patricia, and if they want him to stay around, they're going to have a winning season. And so I don't know. I feel like everyone in this division kind of sucks, and I almost feel like whoever wins this division, I feel like it's going to be either 9-7 or 8-8. But I'm just going to go on a limb and say they're 10-6, just because I just. All right. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there, but Ryan's back. I was just saying I feel like this division hasn't gotten any better other than the Lions, really. And I think Matthew Stafford's going to have a career year. Do we just want to run through, sorry, we're going through this on the fly, guys, but do you just want to run through, each of us, who we have in what position in the league, and then we just talk about that division in a whole?
Yeah. What do you mean?
You have the Packers. So, do you want to just be I have, for me, I have the Lions, the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings, and then I'll just rattle off my records, and then we talk about it?
Yeah.
Instead of going through each team? Okay, so for me, I have the Lions at 10-6, Packers at 9-7, Bears at 8-8, and then – no, not 8-8, 7-9. And then I have the Vikings at 6-10. And I feel like a lot of people are going to hate on that I have the Vikings so bad. I don't believe in either of their defensive line has gotten a lot better since the sign of Yannick Ngakoue, but I don't believe in their offensive line at all. And I think the loss of Diggs is going to be a lot bigger than people think, because now Adam Thielen has to be your number one, and your next best wide receiver is Justin Jefferson, which we don't really know. He's a rookie, and of all times for you to have a rookie, I don't think 2020 with COVID going on, you want to throw a rookie out there to be your number 2 wide receiver. If you want to talk about your division records real quick, you can.
I can get behind that, but I'm going to go with Packers winning the division at 11-5. Then I have the Lions at 9-7, sneaking into the wild card. Then I have the Vikings at 7-9, and then the Bears somewhere around 5-11, something like that. I don't have a lot of faith in this Bears team. I know Matt Nagy's really confident in Mitch Trubisky, but I'm just not. David Montgomery's hurt, and they don't really have anyone to fill that spot other than Tariq Cohen, who's good, but he's not a feature back, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like that division hates giving their quarterback more than one good wide receiver, because it's the Bears have Allen Robinson and it's a drop off. The Packers have Devontae Adams and it's a drop off. The Vikings have Adam Thielen and it's a drop off. I mean, I think the Lions are the only team in that division that have a legitimate wide receiver too, and Marvin Jones.
Yeah, they do. I mean, he is a good wide receiver too, but like you were saying, I feel like this division, this is definitely the weakest division in all of the NFC, 100%. At least in my opinion. Well,
no, I can get behind that.
Yeah, I was debating on the East, but no, I'm going to go with North. Now, my thing with real quick about Trubisky is I have a feeling that they want to start Foles, but I don't think that they can, let's say they put in Foles and Foles really sucks. It's going to be weird that you bench Trubisky, brought in Foles, and now you want to bench Foles and bring in Trubisky. So, I feel like they have to start Trubisky. He's going to be on a super short leash for, the first 3 games. If he sucks, they're going to immediately pull him and put in Nick Foles. But I don't think this team wants to give up on Trubisky just yet. No, and I also believe in that defense to like an incredible level. Like I think that defense is one of the best in the league when they're healthy. So I don't know. But I still have them coming in second or third place in this division. So you want to go NFC East next?
Yes.
All right. You want to start this one?
Yeah. I got so I have the Eagles winning the division at 10-6. And then I have the Cowboys somewhere either around 9-7 or 8-8. I have the Giants about 7-9 to 6-10. And then I have the football teams at about like 5-11. So pretty much, you know how they finished last year, with maybe a bump up in each game for each team. I just think that the Philly offense is going to be so much better with Jalen Reagor and a healthy Deshaun Jackson. And I mean, they still have Alshon. They don't want him, but they still have him. And obviously, they still have Zach Ertz.
I think he's on IR right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Alshon was on IR yesterday. So I have actually done a complete flip-flop on the Dallas Cowboys. I lied. Alshon avoided the PUP list. He will start the season on the active roster. I have the Dallas Cowboys going 12-4 and winning the division. I really have. Listen, here's the thing. I think I was on the Eagles all offseason until like a week ago. And I think the Eagles are so banged up that Carson Wentz is going to have to be literally like Cam Newton 2015 MVP for this team to be a 10-win team. Like I have them at 9-7 and coming in second place. But I think Dallas's offense is so good. And if McCarthy can even be like 10% better than Jason Garrett, I think this team has a lot of potential. I know their defense is going to struggle, but I honestly think that the Cowboys can probably put up 35 points a game, which is a ton in that division. And then moving on, so I have Dallas at 2-4, the Eagles at 9-7, Giants at 6-10. I think they have a great offense. I think they have a terrible, terrible, terrible defense. And then I have Washington at 3-13. I think Washington has a great defensive line, and other than Terry McLaurin on the offense, I don't really see a whole lot of talent. So I think that they're going to struggle a lot, and I think Rivera is building something, but I think it's like a 3 to 4 year plan. So I just have no faith in the Washington football team.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm at a tough spot because I know that they're not going to be great, but I still think that with Ron Rivera at the helm, I think that there's going to be something. They're going to be playing for something. They're not going to be playing a tank. Like, I just think there's going to be more to this team. I just don't see them. They don't have a lot on paper, but that team's got a lot of heart. I hate to say that, but they do. They've got a lot of good pieces, but I don't think they have enough to, like, really make movement in that division.
No, I'm trying to pull up their schedule right now because I feel like it's pretty tough. Yeah, dude, this is their first 5 games. Philly, Arizona, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Rams. And then
it's going to be rough.
Then you have a break with the Giants. Then you play Dallas. Then you have your bye week, the Giants. So, okay. Oh, wow. Their schedule. It's like the first 5 weeks are really hard. Then you have like 3-4 weeks that are easy. And then from week 12, you play Dallas. Week 13, Pittsburgh. Week 14, the 49ers. Week 15, Seattle. Week 16, Carolina. And week 17, the Eagles. So I have a feeling that it is going to be, like I said, I think they're a 4 3-win team somewhere in there.
I think it might get to 5, but
also just maybe because of the defense. I think that defense is going to be pretty good. I'm not high on Haskins at all. Do you want to do the South or the West next?
You do South.
All right.
That's their division, man.
This is going to be pretty easy for me, honestly. I have the Saints going 11-5. Winning the division. Then I have the Bucs 10-6 coming in second. Both those teams are going to make the playoffs. Now, here's where things get hard because I think Carolina is going to be really bad, but I also think the Falcons are going to be really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say I don't know if this mathematically adds up, but I think both teams go 6-10. And I'm just going to say that Carolina comes in third as a homer. I'm going to say that they sneak a win past Atlanta and they win the tiebreaker. But I think it's a very top-heavy division, and I think Carolina and Atlanta are a couple years away. Mostly Carolina because they seem like they're in a rebuild, where Atlanta is kind of like in denial that they need to rebuild.
Yes, they have. They definitely
especially, have. I mean, I get you. What's crazy with Atlanta is like they have really good core pieces. They just won't rebuild. Like if they would just take a season and be like, listen, we need to get rid of all these old guys, not Matt Ryan, not Julio, but like the offense and defensive line need complete overhauls. They could be a contender in this league. But I think until they do that, I have Saints. What did I say? 11-5. Yeah, Bucks 10-6, and then 6-10 for the other two teams in that division.
Yeah, I really like it, and I'm kind of in the same boat. I was actually going to say the same thing with the top two. Yeah. I think the Saints are just going to be a little bit better than the Bucks. But honestly, I have you guys at 6-10, and I have the Falcons anywhere between like 3 and 6 wins. I don't think they're going to be very good. I think they're going to be a very sneaky bad team. Like no one's really talking about how bad they're going to be. I just don't have a lot of faith in them, which is crazy because their offense, isn't that bad. I mean, they have Julio, they have Matt Ryan, and they have Calvin Ridley. But like,
they'll be a really good fantasy team. Like their offense will be super good for fantasy football, not good. Yeah. Like I think they'll get a ton of garbage time points, and they just won't be in. Plus, this division is a murderer's row. Like the fact that you have to play the Bucks and the Saints, that's 4 of your games right there. And I don't see Carolina or the Falcons winning one. Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, and even like when when the Falcons play you though, like Carolina's not going to be like a hard out though.
No, Carolina hates the Falcons. They're probably our biggest rivalry, so they're definitely going to want to compete. I'm trying to figure out when they play. What is happening?
Wake up!
What the hell? The NFL.com just set off an alarm clock. That was terrifying. My bad.
You're good.
Let's move on to the West. I completely forgot what I was saying. My West is – you're probably going to get mad at me for this, but I have the Cardinals winning the division at 10-6. Then I have San Francisco at 10-6 coming in second. I have Seattle at 8-8 coming in third, and I have the Rams at 7-9 coming in fourth.
Yeah,
I don't know if that adds up, but that's what I have.
Yeah, I don't like that. Well, I like it because I want the Cardinals to be good. I just don't think I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the 49ers are gonna be like 12-4 or 11-5. Then you're gonna have the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks and the Cardinals both are 9-7. I think this might be like where we can see 3 teams in the playoffs at once. I think the Cardinals and the Seahawks are gonna make the playoffs, which will be really interesting. I'm very excited about that. And then I think the Rams are gonna be like a 5 to 6 win team. I don't think they're gonna be very good at all. There's just a lot of they just haven't been able to get a very deep team because they have like so many like good. They have like 5 good players, and they're paying them like a buttload of money, so they can't pay anybody else. Mm-hmm. So it's just a bunch of rookies running out there with like on defense, especially their defense too. Their linebacking core is a joke.
Yeah, I mean their defense is a joke, all in all, to be completely honest. So my playoff teams from the NFC are I have the Lions, the Cowboys, Cardinals, Saints, Bucks, 49ers, and Green Bay. I have Seattle missing the playoffs. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, I just realized that because I'm sending the Bucks and the Lions to playoffs also, that the Cardinals and the Seahawks both can't go. And who knows, the Cardinals might get the upside, like you said.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Eagles, Packers, 49ers, Saints, Bucks, Lions, and Cardinals. That's my NFC playoffs.
Who do you have coming out of the NFC to go into Super Bowl?
This early?
Yeah, right now. I mean, it's the preview show. We might as well pick our winner.
This early.
I have 2. I'm really debating between mine.
I'm putting all my chips with the Saints, man. I feel like they've had the bad end of the stick for like 3 years in a row. They need something good. Drew Brees has got to end on a high note.
I'm gonna stick with the Saints. I was leaning hard towards the Cowboys, but I'm gonna stick with the Saints just because I do think you'll see who I have in my Super Bowl from the AFC. But I think that the Saints ultimately win the Super Bowl. That's who I'm putting all my chips behind this season. Even though I hate them with a passion, just let's get Drew Brees to retire. Let's get him one more and let's get him the hell out.
Get him out the door. Bye, Drew.
I guess we can go in the same order that we went with. So we'll start with the AFC North. I'll let you go first because I feel like I've been going first a lot.
All right. I don't see a lot of turnover in this division in terms of the top spot. I think this is going to be the Ravens all day, every day, probably 12-4. And I see the Steelers being around 9-7, followed by the Browns at about 7-9 and 8-8. Sorry. And then the Bengals probably somewhere around 4-12. I think they're going to be just a tad better than they were last year, but not much better. Just because, with a rookie quarterback like that in the tough division, I don't think he's going to win too many games.
Yeah.
They've got a tough schedule, and I know he's got a lot of help around him, and I know our Bengals friend would be cussing us out right now, but I just don't think they're going to be much better than they were last year.
I genuinely don't know if they win a game in the division.
I don't think they do. And honestly, the team I'm most excited for in this division is Pittsburgh. I'm excited to see how Ben Roethlisberger can do, but also, he's got weapons this year. Chase Claypool, James Washington, Deontay Johnson, not to mention Juju and Eric Ebron. This is going to be a fun team to watch.
I'm going to tell you right now, I have 3 teams in the playoffs from this division. I have the Steelers.
Oh, you're a Cleveland believer.
Listen, I have the Steelers winning the division at 12-4. I have the Ravens going 11-5 and coming in second. I have the Browns at 8-8 and making it as the last wild card team in the AFC. And then I have the Bengals as 4-12.
See, I think the AFC is going to be too good to where an 8-8 team is not going to cut it,
Well,
even with the 7th playoff spot.
I do not. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have 2 8-8 teams in the playoffs from the AFC. I think the AFC is very top heavy, and the rest is very bad.
I don't know, man. That AFC West could probably send 2 or 3 teams by itself.
Okay, we'll see when we get there. Again, I told you're not going to like my predictions. I'm telling you right now. So I have 3 teams from that division, 2 wild card teams. I only have 1 wild card spot left.
Hey, man, I don't care what teams you send from this division as long as you're sending the one I want from the AFC East.
Here's the thing. You want to talk about the AFC East?
Yeah, is that not next in line? I thought that was.
It is. I was going to piss you off just say that the Patriots are going to win, even though I don't believe this at all.
I saw someone said the Dolphins were going to win, and I just chuckled.
Nah, they're about 3 years away. So realistically, I honestly don't think this division's that talented other than the Bills, and I have the Bills going 10-6. So I have the Bills 10-6. I have the Patriots 8-8. I have the Dolphins 7-9, and I have the Jets at 3-13. Yep.
I don't hate that.
No. And I mean, honestly, like I said, Cam Newton's going to have to carry that offense. Sorry, Julian Edelman. He's not a number 1 wide receiver if he's not with Brady. The Dolphins, like I just said a minute ago, I think they're a couple years away, especially with the news that they're starting Fitzpatrick. I wonder how many games in they'll decide to hand it over to Tua. Because I think once they do hand it over to Tua, I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to be better this year with Fitzpatrick than they will be with Tua. Even though I believe in Tua as a talent, I just think that he's going to take a few years to come along. The Jets are, until they fire Adam Gase, there's no hope. So I think they're up there with a few other, with the Bengals and the Jaguars for that number 1 pick.
Yeah, for sure. I have a lot of similarities here. And I know I said this last year, but I was almost right last year. I think the Bills can start out 5-0.
I agree. I've looked at their schedule so many times, Ryan, and every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't see a loss here.
I said it last year, and I was almost right. They were 4-1 heading into Week 6.
I
say it more confidently this year.
But here's the thing: any team will take 4-1. Like if you told me right now Carolina would start 4-1, I'd be giddy. I'd be so happy.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I just think all of our first 5 games are like they're not easy wins by any means, but like they're games that we can certainly win.
I think your hardest game is the Titans. You play the Jets, the Dolphins, the Rams, Raiders, Titans.
I think the Rams might give us a hard time just because of their offense.
Maybe.
The offense is pretty good, but I don't think it's – yeah. But, yeah, I think the Titans will be the hardest game in that first 5 games. But going back to the predictions, I think the Bills will finish somewhere around what you said, 10 or 6. I have more hope. I kind of want to say maybe 11-5. I don't know if I'm going to quite say 12-4. That's what I'm hoping for. But
lock it in.
I'm going to say 11-5, which is more wins than we've had in a while. I think the Patriots will go somewhere around like 8-8 or 9-7, sneak into that playoffs, like maybe the 6th or 7th spot. And Dolphins are going to be like 6-10 this year. Miami fans, don't get excited. You have no hope. Like you guys got better, yes, but it's not. Just sit down, please.
You have no hope.
Jets. Yeah, sorry, that was really mean.
No,
and the Jets are going to be like you said, like 3-13 or like 2-4. Like they're going to be bad. People don't underestimate. Like people are like, yeah, Sam Darnold's going to lead this team with Le'Veon. I was like, that's not how it's going to work.
Here's the thing: Sam Darnold is the only piece on that offense that I look at and go, yeah, maybe we could build around.
Yeah.
Who else?
I will give you $5 if you can name me 3 Jets receivers.
No, you don't want to do this because I can. So.
You can?
Yeah, it's Jamison Crowder, Denzel Mims, and Brashard Perriman.
All right. I'll give you another 5 if you can name another one.
Not a chance. I couldn't tell you one other one. And the funny thing is that Perriman, I'm pretty sure, is on IR, or he's not supposed to. And I think Mims might be on the injury report too. I think the only starter that they have currently healthy is Crowder.
Yeah. It's not going to be a good look. And the Jets fan in our group is like so adamant that they had just fixed their offensive line.
I'm sorry.
And I'm not trying to be like, hey, we're better than you, but like what Buffalo did in the 2019 offseason where they got Mitch Morse and drafted Cody Ford.
That is fixing the offensive line. Not adding Mekhi Becton, who is he is the freakiest athlete from that draft class, but he's also the least technical athlete. Like he's the one that needs to be developed the most.
Yeah.
And you have Adam Gase developing him. So have fun with that.
I was about to say, like, the Jets did do a really good job getting new faces in there, but I think what they did is more of like a great value version of what Buffalo did last year.
100.
I don't think their offensive line is still going to – I think it's still going to be, like, bottom tier in the league.
Yes, and I genuinely feel bad for Sam Darnold because his weapons are non-existent.
He's got Chris Herndon. I have a lot of faith in Chris Herndon, but that's about it.
Herndon can't stay on the – he's either injured or suspended. So if he make it to week 1, I'll be happy with Chris Herndon. To answer by the way, I have only Buffalo making the playoffs from this division. I think this is the year that the Patriots missed the playoffs.
I would love that.
So I guess we can move on. Probably the worst division in all of football, at least – no, probably not. But they're pretty bad. The AFC South.
I don't think you're wrong. I think this is the worst.
Yeah, I have my winner at 9-7, and I think that's the Colts. Then I have the Titans going to 7-9, and then I have the Texans at 6-10, and the Jaguars at 1-15.
I don't hate that. We're very similar in like where our placements are. I think the Colts are going to be 10-6. I think the Texans are going to be 9-7. I think the Titans are going to be 7-9, and then I think the Jags are going to be like 2-14.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the Colts clearly have the best roster. I think people are really, like, undervaluing DeForest Buckner on that defense. Like, that's going to be pretty sweet. With Darius Leonard, like, that's going to be nice.
Sure. And I think also people are undervaluing Jonathan Taylor behind that offensive line. Like, Marlon Mack's there, and he's probably going to start for 2 weeks. And then Jonathan Taylor is going to start behind the best offensive line in all of football.
Yeah. Not to mention they finally got a good wide receiver, too, to put next to T.Y. with Michael Pittman.
Yep.
And like, they have Phillip Rivers in there, which is arguably like the best quarterback they've had since Andrew Luck was actually healthy.
Yes, and here's also the thing. People keep saying, what if Phillips shot? Cool. Put Jacoby in there. I think Jacoby Brissett can win this division.
Yeah, the Chargers, sorry. It's Phillip Rivers. The connection.
Phillip Rivers is shot. I think you bench him and put Jacoby in.
Yeah, the Colts are so deep at quarterback. And honestly, if they even want to put the rookie in, they could put Jacob Eason in if they want to. Like,
I would probably change my division pick to the Titans if that was the case. But
I mean, I agree. But
this is where I was talking about. I think an 8-18 team makes it because I have the Colts and the Titans making it in this division.
I don't think – okay, the thing is, though, is, like, I think that I don't think taking DeAndre Hopkins off that team is just going to completely ruin there. I think the Texans are still going to be good. If Will Fuller can stay healthy, they've got Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Kenny Stills.
Name me 3 people off that defense that's not J.J. Watt.
Whitney Merciless. Why am I blanking on their corner's name? Bradley Roby. And then
I can think of one, but I'm not
Zach
even
Cunningham. Bingo.
That's what I'm saying. That defense is bad.
I mean, but like, how much worse is it than the Titans' defense? The Titans have
okay. Here's my thing. Their defense is terrible. I think their defense is really bad, and then I think their offense. People are saying that if Brandon Cooks gets one more concussion, he's going to have to retire. He's constantly getting concussions. No, seriously, that's like actually been thrown out that he might legitimately have to retire if he gets one more bad concussion.
Oh no, I believe you. I think it's crazy that he's gotten to that point. And then, now, once you said that, I thought about like how many times he's been in concussion protocol.
Last year, he got 2 concussions in 3 weeks.
Gosh, dude, his brain is
back confused. On the other side, you have Will Fuller, who I don't think's even completed an entire season. And then who else? Kiki QT?
Kenny Stills.
Cool. I just don't believe – I literally feel so bad for Deshaun Watson. Like, he's the guy that I want to demand a trade desperately. Because
he just signed an extension, so I don't think he's going to demand a trade.
And Bill O'Brien is just the worst – he's right up there with Adam Gase. One of the worst coaches in the league. So,
I really don't understand, like, what more does Bill have to do to get fired? Like, he's just not good.
Also, I'm pretty sure their schedule is like a murderer's row. Like, I think – hang on. Let me make sure that no audio is going to play in the middle of this, hopefully. Yeah, they play the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Vikings. That's their first 4 weeks.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think you're really undervaluing Deshaun. I mean, just the quarterbacks between the Texans and the Titans alone. Like, Deshaun, Tannehill.
You're talking me into it, but I don't like the Titans. I don't think they're good. So if I'm doing this, I'm flipping the Texans and the Titans. So I'm having the Texans go 8-8 and make the playoffs.
I'm just saying. I mean, you could stand firm. I think the Titans are still a good team. I don't believe in them like I did last year. But
okay,
I don't know.
You talked me into it. I'm changing it. We have the Colts going 9-7, Texans 8-8, Titans 7-9, and then 1-15 for the Jaguars.
I wasn't trying to change your view, but I'm going to take this as a win.
No, you did, though. That you talked me into it because I was deeply undervaluing how good Deshaun Watson actually is. So, yeah, I'm going to stand with that. But I still think the Colts and the Texans make it. So, currently, if you're following along at home, folks, I only have one person in the Texas division making the playoffs. And I think we all know who that is. If we want to swing on over to the AFC West, I have the Kansas City Chiefs going 12-4. The Denver Broncos going 8-8, the Raiders going 5-11, and the Chargers going 7-9. Rounding out my predictions for the and clearly the Chiefs are the only team that makes the playoffs.
I don't know, man. I think the Broncos are going. I think the Broncos over the Browns all day, every day. I will take that.
Let me talk you into them not making the playoffs. They don't have tackles, Ryan. Their right tackle opted out because of COVID. Their left tackle tore something and is out for the year. So they're starting 2 plug-in tackles. We don't know how good Drew Lock actually is. Yeah, he was good for 5 games. Let's see you for an entire season when people actually get to watch tape on you. And also, their defense is really good, but they have no offensive line.
But we've seen teams like that slide into playoffs, though. So, like,
I'm just saying the Broncos this year remind me so much of how much people were hyping up the Browns last year.
I mean, okay, but like if Drew Lock is even like half as good as he's supposed to be, with Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and KJ Hamler, not to mention Noah Fant at tight end. Oh, and if you want to run the ball, Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon with Royce Freeman as the third back.
With me and you blocking. So have fun, Drew Lock, with your 2 seconds of pass time, and Melvin Gordon running into Jadeveon Clowney when he comes off the edge every 4 seconds and hits you. Like, I'm just telling you, it's going to be – I think the Broncos are a year away. They need to do what the Browns did this offseason and shore up that offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think I'm still a believer. But I don't disagree with anything you're saying. Offensive line is clearly a problem for them, and I think that –
You just believe in Drew Lock. I understand.
I believe in Lock, and that wide receiving core is too nice to bet against.
Run through who do you have? Like, obviously you have the Chiefs winning, I hope. If you have the Broncos, I might hang up this Zoom call. So
I have the Broncos coming.
I was about to say, Ryan. I was like, whoa, hang on. We need to talk for a second.
How can I mute him?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've got KC. Obviously, I think they contend for the 1 seed in playoffs, that first round bye.
Yeah.
With really only the Ravens or the Bills getting in their way. At least in my opinion. I know you have the Steelers winning that other division.
Yeah.
But then I have the Broncos I didn't say what I have the Chiefs at. I have them around 12-4 or 13-3. I think this team is going to be outstanding, except their secondary is trash, minus their safeties. Their cornerback group is what I'm adding.
Here's the thing, though. Safeties can disguise a lot of problems in your corners if you have really good safeties, and they have 2 really good ones.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of love for their safeties, but their cornerback is – that's got to be their first-round pick this year. 100%. If it's anything else, just throw it away.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've got the Broncos at 9-7. I've got the Chargers at – wait, hold on. Let me think. Actually, I've got the Raiders at 7-9, and then I've got the Chargers at 6-10. I think this is going to – I think the Raiders – I just feel so bad because, like, the Raiders are, like – I feel like they're one step away every year. They're like, we're so close.
Their one step is to get rid of Derek Carr and get John Gruden a quarterback that he actually likes because he hates Derek Carr.
Apparently, Nate Peterman's that guy.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. I've heard this from 2 other people. Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to get traded to the Las Vegas Raiders at the beginning of next season.
That would be insane.
I'm telling you, I've heard 2 other people on different podcasts say this, and I couldn't agree with it more, that if the Packers miss the playoffs this year, he's going to find a way to get traded to the Raiders.
I don't hate that at all, actually. Like, that would be –
their first year in Vegas with actual fans, and you have Aaron Rodgers as your starter. Just saying.
Aaron Rodgers would actually cry at that situation because it's like a good offensive line with wonderful, young, talented weapons. Tyrell Williams with Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, and Hunter Renfrow with Darren Waller at tight. Oh, my God, dude.
By the way, Brian Edwards, best wide receiver on that team.
Oh, facts. I agree with that. Henry Ruggs is close second.
No, Henry Ruggs is John Ross. Let's go.
Whoa.
Hot take? Too high?
A little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's find out. We shall see. So let's run off our playoff teams real quick from that right there. So I have I have Steelers winning division. Then I have the Ravens and Browns, Bills, Texans, Colts, and Chiefs.
All right.
I just held up 8 fingers when 7 teams made playoffs. Wait, did I have this teams? Hold up. No. Okay. I just had to make sure. I was like, wait. No, I have 7. All right, who you got?
All right, I got Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. Who am I missing? Oh, Indianapolis. Then I've got Broncos, Steelers, and Patriots. Texans end up missing the playoffs.
Okay.
Like you said, but I still think they're going to be good, though.
Who's your Super Bowl representative from the AFC?
I don't want to say it.
Is it the Bills? Please
It's
let's do this.
It's Buffalo. It's Buffalo.
Oh, so you have Bills Saints in the championship.
I think okay. I'm so excited for you to see this team because I've been watching this team in camp, and it's just this team, chef's kiss, man.
Well, let me tell you mine. First of all, I have the Saints playing the Saints, and I have the Saints winning and Drew Brees retiring. But what do you think happens to the Bills if, let's say, they come out and Josh Allen just sucks? Like, I don't wish this upon you guys, but let's say y'all go like 8-8.
I think we look at quarterbacks. You
think Josh is the guy if y'all go 8-8?
Well, I mean, you said like specifically we'd go 8-8 if he sucks. His sucking is the reason we are 8-8.
He's okay. Let's say he doesn't take that next step, so he plays about as good as he did last year, except for like the team doesn't perform as good as last year. Like, let's say you go 8-8 and miss the playoffs.
I could see them riding with Josh Allen and Jake Fromm in 2021 if that happens, and then giving him one last shot.
Wait, breaking news: Jake Fromm make the roster?
Yeah.
I knew I had faith in the guy, even though we don't like him. But
they only kept him because they knew someone was going to scoop him up. But he's been trash all camp. But going back to what you were saying, I can confirm that Josh Allen has made that jump from year 2 to year 3. His deep ball looks ridiculous.
I hope
Stephon Diggs, Moss, Jerdavius White in the end zone.
I'm just letting you know that Josh Allen is the white Cam Newton.
All right, I've been new. I know that.
I know, but there's some people that put that in denial, and I'm like, no, he literally is. He's an athletic freak. He's just wildly inaccurate when he throws beyond 30 yards. Except for, here's the thing, Josh Allen has double the arm that Cam Newton never had. Cam Newton never had that arm.
But he's been working on that deep accuracy this year, so I think that changes.
Like I told you, I texted you yesterday and said I am officially joining the Buffalo bandwagon before the season even starts because I know Carolina's going 6-10. So we're hopping on that Buffalo wagon. And I'm hoping for you guys, man.
All aboard. It's going to be a fun ride, man. So buckle up.
Yes. So that basically wraps up this episode, but we're doing a double episode this week. So we're going to do our week 1 predictions. It'll probably be a 20-minute episode next week. Or not next week, tomorrow, actually. So this is going to come out tonight. And then tomorrow we're doing a little week 1 preview for you guys. And we're just going to break down each game, talk about who we think is going to win, sneak peek Chiefs by about 45 on Thursday. That's me being rude towards Deshaun again. I got to get out of that headspace.
Got a lot of hate for him.
No, I don't. I love him as a quarterback. That's the thing. I just don't trust Bill O'Brien. I think he sucks. He is the MVP of that division.
I can get behind that.
You got anything else for him before we wrap it up?
I don't think so, man. I'm excited to be back at the grind tomorrow, and
yes,
I'm excited we're one day closer to football now.
It's football season, baby. All right, y'all have a good rest of your day. Labor Day. Have a good rest of your Labor Day.